for a couple of people to jump on. So just say hello and where you are in the world. It says 5 people are on so far, but it's not telling me anyone. Oh, there we go. Hey, Michaela. Hey, Laura. Can't get enough of me, Michaela. And Laura, we've been chatting this morning. How are you guys going? Anyone else say hi? So, I'm going to talk about today what you should be spending money on in your business, because I see a lot of people, there's 2 different types of people, okay? There's people that literally just don't have the money. Hey Fiona, how are you? There's people that don't have the money and they're spending it on the wrong things and they're not being patient and they're just going for these quick, like pleasure, instead of like long-term, results and discipline. Or there's people who have the money and they're spending it on the wrong things. Hey Helen, hey Zoe, hey Reese, how you guys going? So if you're, let's go back to the start, yeah? If you're just starting out in business, you want to save as much money as possible. When you start making money, hey Nick, how are you going? When you start making money, you want to be saving. Every single week, you should be putting money in savings and putting money aside for tax, okay? Even like if you're at the stage where you're not making enough money in your business to have to pay tax, that's fine. Just get in a good habit of saving money. Now, it's not about how much you save. It's about getting in the habit. So even if it's like $10 a week, it's fine as long as you're saving something. And then what you can do is you bump it up over time. So, excuse me. So for example, with savings, you want it to be at an amount that is a little bit scary for you, but it's not so much that you literally have no money for your bills. Yeah? So if $10 is scary for you and like that's all you've got at the moment, that's totally fine. If you've got a heap of debt or you're paying a heap of big bills or whatever, $10 is a great start. But if that's easy for you, then do 50, do 100, okay? For me, I wasn't saving for a long time, and because I had a lot of big things that I needed to pay for, and I started saving again in December. And so I decided in December, hey Jamie, how you going? I decided in December that I wanted to save 100 grand this year. And so instead of just writing that down on a piece of paper and then being like, oh yeah, that's a nice goal, I'm not going to do shit about it, I decided to actually do something about it. And so shortly after I wrote it down, like a few minutes later, I set up a direct debit to go out every Friday from my bank account of $1,445. Now, yes, that's a very specific amount, but I worked out with the savings that I already had, and saving 100 grand for the year, I needed to save 1,445 a week to be able to reach my goal. And so I set that up, and at the time it excited me, but it scared me a bit as well, because I thought, am I going to have enough money at the end of each week whilst I'm paying all my other stuff? Hey Ali, how are you? Am I going to have enough money at the end of each week to afford that? And so what happened was, after a short period of time, I actually ended up chucking on extra $1,000 here and there, and then I bumped it up to $1,500 a week, which is not much more, but I'm like, oh, it's a nice round figure, and I know I can do it now. Because, so I actually ended up saving $10,000 in December at Christmas time, whilst I was traveling, whilst I was still paying all my bills and everything else, paying expensive rent actually for my mum to live in this house for free. But that was nice for her, yeah? I was living overseas for 2 months. Hey, Tina. And it's nice to be able to do that for my mum, yeah? And she was looking after the cat, so it was win-win. So anyway, ended up saving $10,000 in December. And you, like I said, you want to have a goal that is scary but excites you as well. because otherwise you're just kind of doing a little bit here and there. So I want you guys to put in the comments here, what is an amount of money that you want to save each week that that scares you a little bit, but it's not going to mean that you can't put food on the table for your family. Yeah? And put it in the comments here so I know what that is. And then you want to set up a direct debit that goes out every week. Don't just put it in when you have the money, because it doesn't happen, okay? You want to set it up as a direct debit so it goes out every week. And what happens then is that more money ends up coming in, because money needs a home, okay? So if you just have money sitting in your bank account at the end of the week every week, or even if you don't have it sitting there and you're not doing this, then you'll find something to spend it on. You'll buy more takeaway, or you'll go out drinking, or you'll go and sign up for an online course that you might not need, or you'll go and book a holiday or something like that. Okay? So with that idea in your head that money needs a home, you need to be putting it in savings, because that's then your focus, and the money will come. And I didn't make a heap more money in December or anything like that. It didn't come from that. It came from giving it a home. Hey, Carly, how you going? Hey, Roger. $250 a week. Perfect, Fiona. So set that up. Yeah? Anyone else? Is Fiona the only brave one? So that's number one, is savings. If you're paying tax, you need to have separate savings, separate tax, okay? Because if you're just saving for tax, then at the end of financial year, when your tax goes out, you're like, oh shit, all my savings gone. Yeah. You need like a savings that is long-term savings, and you need, and then that's for, depending on what age you are, that could be for retirement, it could be for an investment property. It's for something big, yeah, that you don't touch. And then your tax is obviously for tax, yeah, income tax or income tax and GST, whatever stage you're at in your business. So that's savings. Does anyone have any comments or questions on that? And I'll just move on to the next thing anyway, but I'll read through them if there are any. So next, when you're just starting out in business, you want to keep your costs low, okay? A lot of people look at these really successful people in business that have been doing it for years, that maybe have a team of maybe one person, maybe 5 people, maybe 100 people, and they're traveling around the world, and they're living in their dream house, and they're buying designer clothes, and they, I don't know, like they're just living this lifestyle that they want. Hey Sarah, how are you? And they put these people up on a pedestal, and they feel like they beat themselves up because they feel like they need to be there. But what they haven't seen is the 10, 20 years, however many years, however much work and dedication and everything else that's gone into creating that, okay? So never put anyone else up on a pedestal. You want to look at the lifestyle that you want to create, what fits in with the life and the goals that you want, okay? Awesome, Helen. So set that up. And so when you're starting out, you don't need staff. You don't need to be living in an expensive property. You don't need to be doing a heap of travel or staying in expensive hotels or Airbnbs. You don't even need to be going out and eating out every day or multiple times through the week. You want to be able to save that money. And this goes for people that have started making some good money as well. I did it myself, and I've spoken about this before, but I see so many people, they start to get some cash in the bank, and then they go out and buy a brand new car, or they go and book a holiday, or they go and hire somebody, okay? You want to build that up over time. Just because you've had one good month or one good week or even a few good months doesn't mean that you just go out and spend that money. Because if you build it up over time with savings, having enough money for your tax as well, then you can think about the bigger picture. Hey Sarah, how you going? So, like, for example, last year when my lifestyle got a bit out of hand, I I had, like I've told a lot of you before, I had a chef coming weekly. I was getting 2 PTs a week. I was getting 2 massages a week. I moved to an expensive house. I hired my assistant. What else? I bought some designer clothes. I bought, one day I was like in a bad mood and I bought an $800 dress just to cheer myself up. And it's like, fucking doesn't work anyway, yeah? So, and I was staying in expensive places and things like that. Hey Kylie, hey Tess, hey Lisa, how you guys going? So Fiona said, yeah, I fucked that up. I went and got an office even though my clients don't see me face to face, so I'm making a change today. Perfect, Fiona. Yeah, it's like, we buy these things and we put these things in place because we think that that's what it means to be successful. Oh, I need to have an office to be successful. I need to buy a retail place, or I need to buy a gym, or I need to hire an expensive assistant, or I need to have a big team, or I need to go on a heap of holidays, or have a chef, or have designer clothes, or whatever it is. No, that's not success. You get to define success. Yeah? So it doesn't mean just because these other people define success in a certain way that means that they're successful, or that means that success for you. I think just being happy and being connected with myself and my family is success. Having balance in all areas of my life. But yeah, really just being happy and fulfilled. That's success to me. And so I cut back on a lot of that stuff. Hey Sue, how are you? Well, that rhymes. So I cut back on a lot of that stuff. Now I'm not going without. There's a difference between scrimping and saving and being like, oh, I can't buy that coffee, or I can't buy this or that. There's a difference behind that, and you've got to have an abundance mindset, but that doesn't mean you've got to go out and spend all your money. Okay? So again, when you're starting out, even if you're starting to make some good money, you want to save as much as you can. Now, the things that you should be spending your money on is investing in yourself, okay? Investing in your own personal development and business development. Hey, Kiara, how are you? So over the last 6 years, I have spent over $200,000 on my own personal development and business development. And I wouldn't be where I am today without it, okay? There's people that will go out and buy a brand new car, or they'll go out spending money on alcohol, or or eating out, or clothes, or whatever. They'll spend money on things like that, but they tell me that they can't afford business coaching. Yeah? That's a bullshit mentality. Because when you spend money on coaching, whether it's business coaching, personal development, going to a workshop, or things like that, you are growing, not only in business, but as a person. And you're going to save money in the long run, and you're going to not make mistakes that you would have potentially made, and you're going to reach your goals so much faster because you've got someone to help you get there faster. So I will always spend money on that kind of stuff until the day I die. Now, it doesn't mean that you buy another kind of basic online course that's just training you something and you get no support, and you've bought a million courses that are all the same and you haven't done the work. Like that's a disclaimer there. Yeah. If you've got a heap of things that you're not doing, then do the work. Yeah. And it's not that the course was shit or the person was shit that put it out there. You've got to change. You've got to get committed and do the work. Now, I don't necessarily think, hey Therese, how you going? I don't necessarily think that buying just an online course where you get no extra support is worthwhile. I think having a coach or some kind of ongoing, being part of an ongoing mastermind so you can network with other people as well and be part of an amazing supportive community, that is worthwhile, okay? So always spend money on developing yourself, on your mindset, personal development, and your business, yeah? Don't spend it on shit that you don't need. What's that quote? It's like, people are spending money on things they don't need, to things that they don't want things that they don't need to impress people that don't even care about them. It's something like that. And it's so true. Yeah. And so stop worrying about what everyone else is doing or what everyone else is thinking, and just pave your own path and save your money, set up a savings account and a tax account, and spend money on learning and developing yourself instead of on crap that you don't need. Okay? Set up a budget for yourself. Set up a household budget, set up a business budget, and stick to it. So that's what I really believe is the most important thing to spend money on in business. Now, as you do have a bit more cash flow and as you're growing, you can hire staff, okay? Hey Tom, how are you? When you're at that stage where you need someone, where it's actually going to save you time and save you money to put someone on board, then put someone on board, okay? And what that would start with is usually, like, if you're a personal trainer, noisy airplane. If you're a personal trainer, it might be having another trainer working for you. If you're a PT or in any kind of industry, it might be having an assistant come on for a few hours a week. Now, I pay my assistant really good money, yeah? And she works 30 hours a week for me. But I didn't have someone on for this amount of money or this many hours until August last year she came on, okay? I've been in business for 6 years. I've had plenty of assistants before her. What you want to do when you're starting out is find someone who is a student, a high school student, a uni student, someone who's in their maybe early 20s or their teens that can do stuff for you. Young people are great at social media and that kind of stuff, yeah? So you want to find someone that can do the tasks for you that are not worth your time, okay? And now this might not even be in business. It might be a cleaner, or it might be a babysitter for your kids, or whatever it is, yeah? So if you can pay a cleaner $20 an hour, or an admin assistant $20 an hour, just using that as an example, and you have someone doing 2 hours a week for you, or 5 hours a week, or whatever it is, just start small and then build up from there. So say it's 5 hours a week. Hey Chris, how are you? So say you've got an assistant doing 5 hours a week for you at $20 an hour. That's obviously $100 a week. Then think about, in that 5 hours, if you're focusing on sales calls, if you're focusing on lead generation, if you're getting on the phone to your clients, and giving them extra value and maybe upgrading them into something more, do you think you could make more than $100 within 5 hours by focusing on things that are going dollar producing activities? Give me a yes or no, guys. Everyone's quiet. So do you think by spending 5 hours on sales, lead generating activities, that you could make more than $100? Yes. Awesome. Absolutely. Good. Kylie says yes as well. Tom said yes. Awesome. So, a lot of people are worrying. Fiona said I could hire a whole team for 5 hours sales focus. Yeah. Awesome. Zoe says yes as well. Awesome. So, if you literally have no money and you're just starting out, don't do this. But if you're at the stage where you're so busy and you have a bit of cash flow and your time is better spent on those other things rather than, scheduling emails and getting back to clients and things like that. And I don't mean giving client value. I mean just like booking clients in for calls and things like that, yeah? If your time is better spent on sales and you know that you could make more than $100, then spend that $100 to make thousands of dollars, yeah? Or however much it is. A lot of people are focusing on the $100 that they've got to spend, not what that 5 hours will give them. You got to change that perspective, switch it up, yeah? So that is my advice for someone that's at that stage. And if you're not at that stage yet, work towards it, yeah? So and think about the thing, what is going to be the most valuable thing for you in your business right now? Is it an assistant? Is it putting a PT on? Is it putting a babysitter on for your classes if you run group fitness classes, or a babysitter for your own kids so you can have some time out? Is it having a cleaner? Is it having a chef? Is it spending the money on getting some of those workout meals and getting them delivered so you're saving time on cooking? Yeah, there's so many different ways to think about it. Now, you don't have to have an assistant that comes to your house. You don't have to have an assistant within your country if that's expensive to do. You could get an assistant, like a virtual assistant from Southeast Asia, or you can pay someone on Odesk or Elance or Fiverr or any of those places to do little contracted jobs for you here and there and save some money, yeah? Then after a while, if you've got some good cash flow, for me, I hired my assistant at 30 hours a week and at a higher price point than I have before because I found that people that were doing 5 to 15 hours a week for me and paying them a smaller amount, and they didn't have the skill set that I wanted, they weren't as committed to my business as what I needed at that stage that I was at. So it helped me in what I needed at the time, but it got to the stage where I needed more. And so now my assistant does not only admin, but she does branding and design. She does, she helps with content collation and things like that. She does film and photography as well. When I was doing the start of this live stream before, she was filming me, so we can use that for films that we're about to put out soon. It's really worthwhile for me to have her now. And it means that the way that I have my team, I not only have her, but I have IT, I have Facebook ads guy, and I have copywriting as well. Now, Chelsea is the only one that's full-time, or 30 hours, pretty much full-time. The rest only do bits and pieces for me, but that is the perfect team for me, where now I don't have to do any of the stuff that I don't like to do. All my time is spent focusing on giving value to clients and coaching clients, creating, doing content and live streams and things like this, and doing sales. Yeah? So that's the stage that you want to get your business to. Cool. So that's pretty much it, guys. Save your money up for savings and for staff, and spend it on your own personal development and business development, and everything else, don't worry about it, okay? You don't want to go without. If you need something, then buy it. You want to have an abundance mindset. But don't just waste money. And the way to not waste money is by having a budget and sticking to it, yeah? Having your separate accounts, knowing where your money is going, because, I see a lot of people who, they're in a lot of debt or they're not making much money, and so they don't know how much money they're bringing in each month. And they don't know how much money is going out. And they don't even know how many clients they've got. They don't even know how much debt they've got. I spoke to someone one day and she thought she had 20 grand of debt, and it turned out she only had like 7 or 8. And what people do is they have their head up in the clouds and they're stressing out about money, so they're not focusing on it. They don't know their numbers. And when you don't know your numbers, you can't think about things logically. You're thinking about them emotionally. And when we think about things emotionally, it blows up into this big catastrophe, and it's way worse than what it actually is. You might have 2 clients that drop off, and you're focusing on, oh, these 2 clients dropped off, and my world is falling apart, and my business is crap, and I'm a failure. And instead of focusing on the 10 new clients that just joined, yeah? Hey, Del, how you going? Exactly, Sue. And so you want to focus on the positives every day. And the way to think about things logically, like I said, is looking at the numbers. Yeah? What you focus on is what you get. So if you're not focused on how much is coming in, then you're not going to make more money. If you're not focused on knowing what your budget is, knowing where your expenses are, awesome, Del, then you're going to be spending too much money because you'd have no idea. You'll go out and you'll be like, oh yeah, like it's so easy with a card and with PayPal these days, right? You just spend. So you need to have an idea of what you're spending and how much is coming in. And when you do this, you're able to then get those bigger things in life. You're able to buy property or invest in other businesses, or have enough when your tax comes round, or have savings for when you retire, or whatever it is, yeah? But if you're constantly living in just wanting an amazing lifestyle, then it'll get to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the track or whatever, and you'll have nothing left, yeah? So most people want short-term pleasure instead of long-term discipline to be able to reach their bigger goals. So you need a little bit of short-term pain and discipline and willpower, and maybe go without that meal out, or go without going to gold class movies or whatever, so that you can have those longer term, those bigger picture things. And you know, it's patience, it's consistency, it's discipline to be able to reach bigger goals. Otherwise you'll never get there, and you'll just keep chipping away, same old position year after year. Kylie says, I've been guilty of this in the past. Yeah, and I think everyone has, Kylie. And you know, when I speak this stuff, it's not having a go at anyone or saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. I did it last year, yeah? And so I learnt from that, and I'm talking about this a lot now on live streams and with clients and things like that, because I want to help you guys not make the same mistakes that I did, or snap out of it quicker than I did, yeah? It's nice to have an amazing lifestyle, but it's much nicer to set yourself up for life and really make a bigger difference in the world, yeah? Hey David, how you going? So does anyone have any questions or comments? What's the biggest thing that you got out of that? What are you going to implement? And pop any questions here about anything I've spoken about, or about anything else as well. And if anyone's watching this afterwards, feel free to post any comments here or send me a personal message, and I'll get back to it as well. If you're not already in my free group, it's the Community of Kick-Ass Action Takers, if you want to check it out. I do have a few free strategy calls left for this week as well. If you want to grab one of those, I'll pop the link here excuse me, after this live stream. And let me know if there's any particular topics of things that you want me to talk about. I'll be doing these live streams every day, Monday to Friday, yeah, happy to talk about anything that you guys want me to talk about as well. I have a list of topics, but I want to give you guys what you need as well. So I guess just as a bit of a wrap up, and if you've jumped on towards the end of this, make sure you watch the start. But as a bit of a wrap up, you want to be smart with your money. You want to have a budget for household and business. You want to have a savings account for long-term savings and for tax as well, if you've got to pay tax. At the moment, if you're at that tax, if you're earning enough, basically. You want to spend your money on personal development and business development so that you can reach your goals much faster. You're going to reach your goals so much faster with a coach than trying to do it by yourself. And you're going to save money in the long run because you're not going to make as many mistakes. And you're going to be spending your time on the things that are important and that are going to produce, like the dollar producing activities and the right kind of things rather than just guessing. And then, what was the other thing? You need to be on top of your numbers. You need to have that focus on the numbers and look at things logically instead of emotionally. And don't spend money on shit. Yeah? That's basically it. Hey Rob, how you going? So does anyone have any questions or comments before I go? Hey Jimmy, how are you? I'm just wrapping up, guys. But if you've just jumped on towards the end, watch the start and let me know if you've got any questions. Feel free to PM me anytime or comment here. So before I go, does anyone have any questions? Whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to show you this beautiful view. This is my backyard. I'm going to go for a bushwalk through there later and do some filming as well. Awesome, Del. That's okay, Fiona. Thanks for jumping on. And this is my little space here where I run my VIP days and sit out here working as well. And this is my meditation space. Awesome, Sue. Let's make it happen. No questions, guys? And then this is my assistant, Chelsea, working hard. We sit on these nice comfortable chairs, or we sit outside. And this is the movie room. And my whiteboard. Awesome, Del. Come visit anytime. Awesome, guys. So thanks for jumping on. I will see you tomorrow. And let me know if you have any questions or comments. Anything you need help with, just shoot me a message anytime or comment here. Okay, bye.